Okay then, went away there for a bit. Now, I broke this down rather than do it whilst I'm recording. It takes too long. Okay, these are musical notes and these are the names of them, and these are what they are worth, or what counts or beats they're worth. Okay, we start off with the whole note, no stem, and it's an open note, it's white, the whole note. This will receive 4 counts of or beat of that particular bar. Okay, 4/4. If we cut that in half, we get 2 notes, and this is the minim or half note. That will receive 2 counts. That will receive 2, and that will receive 2. Now, if we cut these 2 minims in half, we get 4. Imagine that as a cake, and that was the whole thing, and we keep cutting it in half. So this is the crotchet or quarter note, and that will receive 1 count or 1 beat of the bar. Now, if we cut these in half again, we get 8, and this is the quaver or 8th note. Okay. On music, you'll see them written either singularly if they're just one, or on a beat, you'll see them grouped together in 2s, or if it's half the bar, you'll see them grouped in 4. This is to show you where the half bar is, and that then there'd be another 4 after that. And this note receives half a count or a beat. Okay. Now, if we cut this all in half again, each one of these notes, the quaver note, we're going to get 16. And this is the semiquaver, okay, or the 16th note, which receives, I would say, a quarter of a count or a beat, okay. So that would be a quarter of the crotchet, okay. On music, you'll see them written singular like that, or grouped in 4s, or grouped in 2s, etc. And of course, I must say, if we cut these all in half again, we're going to get 32, and that is the demi-semiquaver, and it's the 32nd note. We cut all them in half again, we get 64, and that is the 64, which is demi-semiquaver, and you can go on. But you didn't really see too much of that in the modern music. In modern music, it probably go down to about this, and you probably go to the 64th note, but I ain't seen it very often. But each one of these notes has got an equivalent rest to it. Okay? Okay then, right. Each musical note has an equivalent rest, because in music, sometimes we'll have a section of a bar where there's silence. So, but it must be counted. Okay, so if it's a bar of 4, and it's only got 3 crotchets, we need to add a crotchet rest in to represent that beat and that silence. And if we've got a whole bar where it's silent, we need to show it. So in a bar, a whole bar for the whole note, that is the whole note, and this is the equivalent rest for that note. So that hangs from a line on the staff, and where it is now, off the fourth line, and it hangs down. It's like an upside down top hat. That represents the line. That represents the line. That's the rest. Okay, the half note rest is equal to the same amount of count as the whole note of silence, and that is the whole note rest. Excuse me. The quarter note, which is the crotchet, is this, and that receives 1 count or 1 beat, just the same as the crotchet note of silence. The 8th note rest appears like that, and the 16th note appears and looks like that. And each rest is equivalent to the same amount of counts or beats in silence as the notes are being played. Excuse me. One thing I did forget to say through there, the whole note rest is the whole note rest. The half note, which is the minim, that's the minim rest. The quarter note, which is the crotchet, is a crotchet rest. The eighth note is a quaver, and that's a quaver rest. The 16th note is a semiquaver, and that's the semiquaver rest. Okay, and these all receive the same amount of beats or counts, only in silence. You're not playing anything there. Okay. Okay, just a small example of, say, a crotchet note being played in a left hand. A lot of people like to blues and boogie woogie or so forth, but each note is a crotchet that I'm going to play, which represents this. And then the quavers, if we was to play the quavers in the left hand, as in boogie woogie, then each one of them is going to receive half a count, okay? And that would be which we would say 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, that's just a little bit of an sort of what it looks like, but we'll come more to that later. I want to let that all, you know, sort of like sink in. If you've got any questions, come back, because when we do come back, I want to talk about the scales and the formulas, because we've got major scales and we have got minor scales, which are harmonic and melodic, but don't worry too much about that. We've got the major scales, we've got the blues scale, and we've got the whole tone scale, which I'm going to explain all that to you in the next parts. And with learning the formula of a scale, you should be able to form the remaining 11 scales, because there's only 12 keys and 12 scales. You should be able to do that on your own. Then we'll talk about chords and so forth, primary triads, before we get to play something then. Okay, cheers then, bye, see you there.